Hello again, YouTube. I hope you're all doing well today. Now, this game has been all over my Twitter feed for the past 2.5 weeks, roughly. So I thought, let's give the demo a try and see what it's all about. This will be quite a long video, just so you know, but I hope you'll enjoy it regardless. Before we get into it, I do want to say a quick thank you to everyone for being here, for watching, liking, commenting, as it really does help me out if you do all of these things. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so, so you don't miss out on future videos. That would be a real shame, wouldn't it? But enough of that for now. Now we've got all of that out of the way, let's get on and dive into the TOUCHSTARVED demo. TOUCHSTARVED is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury and dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. Consider me intrigued at... I mean, all you had to say was horror, but now that you've said injury and dismemberment, I'm very curious. Thank you very much, devs. Your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text which contain exclusive content. Okay, I will try and remember this. I will probably do badly, but I will try and remember that. Choose wisely and save often. I mean, choosing wisely, I can't guarantee that, and saving often is something that I tend to forget in games. I don't know if you lot are the same, but I definitely tend to forget to save. And then I regret it because I get myself into trouble. So let's get myself into some trouble, shall we? Okay, choose my pronouns. I am me, so I'm a she, her. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. Okay, fogfall is in red. I need to try and remember this. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Oh my gosh, can I choose something as messed up as possible? Because that's me. Oh, we've got quite a few here. Oh, I'm looking at the alchemist. I'm probably going to go for that. But let's read through all of these. We've got the unnamed, a fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priests claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's word, you fled in search of the cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I like that, sure. And then we've got the Hound, not the one from Game of Thrones, but we've got a forsaken thief. You were raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when no one else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure, then betrayed you. Of course, they always do this. They left you with only enough coin to travel to the cenobium, your last hope. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. Okay, yes, a typical sort of thief backstory, sure. I can get behind that. And then we've got the alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled cenobium mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. Dottore, is that you? You fled to the cenobium, seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with an encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. Ooh. I said I was going to go for the mage. I actually kind of like the supernatural presences here. Like, let's be an exiled priest thing. All right, we'll go with this one. Let's give this a go. All right, I'm going to be the unnamed, even though I gave myself a name. I guess that's the perk of not having a name. You can just choose your own destiny. But here I am. Your name is Sophia. Yes, this is correct. Oh, I like the art. This is cute. And I like this, the text box. That's kind of nice too. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I am desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair. But then I saw it. Is this Cenobium? Iridia, okay. Iridia, the city of knowledge. One of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. Okay. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. Well, I hope we do manage to find a cure. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of salt-soaked wastes. Or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Monsters? Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist, falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Oh dear. Well, whoever that was, we don't know. Random person in the mist has met an untimely end. That sucks. For them. Then, the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. Wow. Oh, what are you, Chief? Coming out of the mist. I like your tentacles. That's kind of fun. But I guess we'll find out soon enough. My curiosity is getting the better of me. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Okay, we got like maybe some eyeballs on him. Okay. Are those fingers? They are. He's got little fingies on his head. Sure, I mean, you do you. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. Okay, the curiosity is getting the better of me. I'm going to head for the wagon. I know I should run for the city, but, you know, living on the edge. I take cover beside the wagon, where the air is thick with greasy smoke. Fire eats through the gaping hull, spluttering where lantern oil mixes with brackish water. Every person I see is dead or dying, except one. O All-Mother, forgive our sins. Guide us unto your hearth. We are worthy. We are worthy. A traveller grovels by the flames, their hands clasped above their head in fervent prayer. I glance upward, towards the gauzy lights of Iridia just visible where the fog runs thinnest. I don't pray. not anymore. But the sight of the city is all the reminder I need. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. And we get a front row seat to this. Interesting. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Oh good, we got some blood on the screen now. Shit. My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Ah. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn deep into my palm. The pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Who are you? Can you stand? The praying traveller leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand, and I realise too late that my bandages have come undone. Oh no, you can see my freak hand. Oh dear. Don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Their lips peel back in a deranged grin. Holy sugar lumps. It reminds me of that movie. Have you seen it? I haven't seen it, but it reminds me of that movie. You know the one I'm talking about. The one that had like that Snapchat filter. I can't remember what it's called. It'll come back to me. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Maybe Smile. That wasn't the one I was thinking of, but Smile was recent, right? I haven't seen that movie either. Have you? Let me know in the comments. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse. Madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die! Die, 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 die! It's Reaper. He's back. Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. I'm gonna fight them off. This is my fault, kind of. I shouldn't have gone over here. Also, if I'm being choked, I don't think screaming's gonna do too much. My nails gouge deep into the traveller's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. Yeah, I suppose I should have thought about that. Well, I guess I die here. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. And not because of the fogfall or the soulless, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveller's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. Oh. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. Well, I mean, at least my friend helped me. Thanks, buddy. The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studded its leathery skin thin through grinning. As a flash of claws, red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds. Mine, neatly severed at the elbow. Damn! I didn't even know. I mean, I guess that's some kind of superpower that I didn't even notice that my arm had come off. Shock. The hell of a thing, right? It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Bro, did I actually die? Oh no, heaven's claiming me. Oh, sugar. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment, I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface beneath me, a strange tang of sulphur in the air. Do not be afraid. Okay, Mr. Question Mark, Miss Question Mark, Mr. Question Mark, hello? Sir, okay, I need to think of a voice for you, something mysterious maybe. I don't know. I will do my best with my subpar voice acting. You are welcome. I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy, and he is pretty damn fine. I just added that part. But we all know that this is what troubled me is thinking. Stay away from me! My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No? Who the hell is this? I'm gonna sit up. You aren't telling me what to do. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims, and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. Ah, a stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. Yeah, okay, a doctor, alright, yeah. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I like his hair, it's very long and pretty. I'm envious. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked, except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. Even the shrine of my childhood, the one sanctuary I ever knew, turned out to be a horrific lie. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. Thank you, sir. I hope they're nice. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. Okay. I like what you've done with the place. He has glasses. All good things. It's not related to the decor, but it was just something I noticed on the side, so I had to say something. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic that I can't quite place. He is beautiful. I think I made a good choice getting injured by those freaks. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Thank you. I'm going to be polite. He was polite to me. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Meeting his gaze sends a hot frisson down my spine. Something about him nags at me, like a half-formed memory I can't place. Oh, have we maybe met before? I don't know. Thank you. You are welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off. And yet, my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitching poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up, bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them, but there's still one thing missing: my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps toward one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and, of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean, white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clench my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. I'm gonna say nothing. There's no answer I could give without raising unwelcome suspicion, so I just shake my head and finish tying the bandages in silence. I can only help you if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself for now, and learn more about him first. Who are you? You may call me Kuras. Okay, it's nice to meet you. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travellers to go. Iridia. So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from that caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you Provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here... I trail off, bewildered. I never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The doctor, Kuras, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Consider me warned, thank you. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Sophia. My name's Sophia. It is a pleasure to meet you, Sophia. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving my life. I chance a smile in return. Even if he won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for Kuras. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Kuras. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kuras might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. Yeah. Keep trying to hide it, buddy. All right, okay. I can see the chemistry. Well, I can't see. I can feel it. Feeling this. I could not help being curious about you, Sophia. His voice dips into a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travellers do not have an abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure what to say to that. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Kuras lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamour on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Sophia? Oh. Between the Solus attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium. The cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it's very unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing, quite literally? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Aridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then, if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Aridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander. Excuse me, the wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They're difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. Okay. That isn't much to go on, but Kuras points toward the clinic's back door. You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Okay, well thank you very much for the invite. I will very much keep this in mind, sir. Spicy doctor. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the street. Lovely. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin I'd scraped together for the journey to Aridia. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glance back at the clinic's closed door. Kuras didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Aridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kuras gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Kuras' clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Aridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. And there's something else, a charge in the air like the shift in pressure before a storm. It's subtle, little more than a faint, persistent thrumming, but I can't seem to shake it. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch! Fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its 3 bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. Oh, dude, no. It's still got its head on. I couldn't. I could not. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points to a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savoury fried dough. I don't want to know, do I? Fresh long lads. 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of colour, painted walls, and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district, ayo. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the word Bloodhounds printed above his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. So Leander? If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. Right then, let's go find him. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wet Wick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks. Bustling bars are not something I'm used to, but I steel myself with a deep breath before pushing forward. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Show! 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 The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar and their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught, swept along in the ale-stench current. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself. But the crowd has stilled. The chanting stopped. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Okay, what are we gonna see? Hit me with it. Oh, I don't know if I like this. Seriously, you dogs? Again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. Nah, sorry. The doctor was nicer. That's what I'm just saying now. Sorry. More my type. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, all right? This time when he speaks, the audience falls silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence or rich, low voice. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs, and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I've found Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light, real magic, no ordinary stage trick, blinds me. Okay, so he's a little mage boy. Oh, that's pretty. As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist, and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. A genuine magic show was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. Now who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool green eyes slide right over them, locking onto me instead. Oh, dude, no, I'm just standing here. I'm just observing. I want no part in this, thanks. How about you? Nah, it's alright, Chief. Nah, I'll pass. Someone else can have him. My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Oh, shit. I'm gonna refuse the flowers. Is that rude? Actually, I want information. I'm gonna take it. I'll get to know him. I want some more secrets, right? So I'll just be polite. This is my tactic. Snake time. Snake time. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, their light dims. They fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. No, me! I'm not smiling at this! Stop it. We are behaving. But apparently we're doing a bad job of behaving. No, I'm sorry. No, he's not for me. He's probably very nice, but no. I like the doctor. God damn it. Leander steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible clink. Alright, bloodhounds, get back to your drinks. Show's over. The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to their tables and booths. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulder presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. I don't know, I feel very uncomfortable. We're in a bar with loads of people. I'd be in the corner crying. People, you say? Nope, we don't do that here. Is this your first time in Iridia? He says it lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. Oh, damn, dude. You're one of these. Okay, consider me warned. A charmer. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What can I get you? Surprise me and add anything my friend wants to my tab. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit I do feel a little thirsty after all that fried dough. I'll have what he's having. This is gonna be... If he's having alcohol, then yeah, I'm down. I'll have what he's having. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. His eyes wander over to me in return. But when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions. So what brings you to the Wick? Kuras sent me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place. So it's about work. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses filled with what I can only assume is beer. I hope it's good beer. If it's terrible, I'm going to be mad at you for having really atrocious taste in drinks, Leander. Just saying. I raise my glass and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty, but with an undercurrent I can't quite place. A quick sip confirms my worst suspicions. It's awful. Somehow briny and sour in a way that reminds me of pickles. Oh, dude. No. Why? But any thought of complaining dies the moment I look up and see Leander taking a deep swig from his glass. He lets out a satisfied breath. Well, you can have mine, Chief. You paid, so... yeah. How can I be of assistance? I need to get to the cenobium. As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Oh, good. Bloodhounds twist around in their seats to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up the cenobium in here? Throw him out! This is bloodhound territory. The vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the cenobium. Good job, me. Well done. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking, as though he hasn't noticed the uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass. For the love of... He drags a hand down his face. Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhounds silently return to their drinks. Only a handful continue to watch me warily. Sorry about them. The cenobium's a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mix in enough drinks and, well, you saw. How about we continue this outside? When I give him a terse nod, he pushes away from the bar counter. It also gets me away from this horrible beer, which I have not forgotten about. I feel betrayed. Don't offer to get me a drink and it's crap, dude. I'm not asking for much. I just wanted a decent drink. I follow Leander to an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick where layers of frayed bloodhound posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his likeness on the posters is impressive. Kuras didn't send you here for help with the cenobium, did he? From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. He suggested I find an alternative. Yet here you are, asking about them anyway. What do you need the cenobium for? I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, I see you're already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth its weight in gold here. Kuras told you the truth. The cenobium's dangerous. Get on their bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. Oh, one of those kinds of places I see. I'm also intrigued. But, damn, not what we had in mind, was it? Visual novel me. But the cenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. The cenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place held answers, it would be the cenobium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you to think, but things don't seem too good to be... One day I can read, holy shit. That's what they want you to think, but things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I staked everything on a lie, then what now? Leander clears his throat. But, as I always say, there's solutions to every problem, and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hands and turns to me with a brilliant smile. That's why Kuras pointed you to the bloodhounds. Let us help you. Whether it's hunting soulless, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables, we can do it all, and free of charge. Well, that's very generous. What's the catch? Because you say free of charge, is it because you want information from me? Depends on the information, my man. I'm shaking my head before he's even finished his practiced speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen. I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious, and if the cenobium's your first choice... You're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? When my eyes widen, he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'd be happy to help you out. That is, if you'll tell me what ails you. Leander might not work for the cenobium, but he is a mage, and a powerful one if his demonstration earlier is any indication. I'm silent, plagued by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? Why is he so happy about this? Well, I guess it is kind of interesting, but come on, man. It's sad. Don't be smiling away. He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? Yeah, dude. Good job. I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I've even finished, Leander begins taking his glove off. He tugs his left hand free and flexes his fingers. Oh, is he going to be, like, touching my hand? Come on. I mean, I get the curiosity. Maybe I judged this man a bit too harshly. No, I don't think I did. Let's see it. Oh, he's a wrist... Oh. No. Not for me. You're a nice man, but no. Sorry. I'm thinking about this way too much. He offers me his hand, and a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm. But I'm already shrinking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him, to see his kind face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in this city, you'll see 1,000 curses and thrice as many cures. Do you really think Kuros would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Cenobium. Better, even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. That's the problem. Takes a while for me to get confident enough to trust people, right? Maybe that's just me. Introvert things. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then, with a short breath, I begin unwinding the bandages from my hand. Are we doing this in the street? I know it's an alley, but still, someone else might see. Fine, but if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Look at your face. Dude. No. No, thank you. It's okay, sir. With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea, yes. But we're doing it anyway. Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm curious. I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. When I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Leander only grins. See? It can't be. This time, when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. He trails off when my thumb brushes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I don't like the way he's looking at me. It's too close. Sir, stop it. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Stop blushing. Stop. Colour rises in his cheeks, but he remains still, except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. Yes, too close. We've just met. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Leander's palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. I didn't want to flirt with him. I was... Fuck. Okay, well I guess I flirted with him. I was... just curious. God damn it. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing until this moment. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. No, stop it, me! We don't like him. No, I'm gonna let him go. Fuck off. Sorry, I'm being so mean to this guy. Sorry. I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. We've only met 2 people. I'm pretty sure there are other boys to meet. So yeah, I'm keeping my options open, okay? That's what I'm calling it. Need to make sure it's the right choice. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? I guess. I'm Sophia. You were right to hide this from me, Sophia. That curse of yours, it's unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you're discreet, but you'd best not go showing that off to anyone else. Yeah, I hadn't planned on it, pal. Don't worry. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I don't know. I pause. Room and board was something I hadn't yet considered. Don't invite me back to your place. I don't want it. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. In my own room, please. Please. The wet wick is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of the bloodhounds have dispersed, or in a few cases fallen asleep beside their drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realise doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. Oh, is this spicy time room? I said I didn't want this. You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Leander's laugh. No! How have I ended up with this, like, F-boy? No. Shoot. I'm too kind. Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained. And I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. This is just for my friend Sophia. Sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. I'm not doing anything with this man, sir. Escapades, how you know what it means. Visual novel me. Stop questioning it. Let's move on, please. Please. Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? We'll owe him a favour later, and I don't want to know what it will be, but I guess we'll have to do it. Nothing. Bloodhound rates. Too good to be true? Probably is. You told me this yourself, man. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need. Okay. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Go explore, Sophia. You'll find many roads in Iridia, each leading to different answers. But if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Maybe I will, but no. I don't like your smile. It's creeping me out. I know what you're thinking. No, stop it. Just be careful. Thank you for the warning, sir. I'm going to bed to sleep. On my own. Thank you. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. The air clings, sodden and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless streets look barren and bleak. Even the peddlers are long gone. Only a pair of crows remain quibbling over stale crusts in a gutter. I feel a ridiculous pang of envy. At least they've got reason to fight. I've never felt so lost. Kuras and Leander both made it clear that the Cenobium can't be trusted, but I came so far, endured so much. I need to see the Cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. What, and draw suspicion to myself? That's a really bad idea, dude. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. Who is it? Another boy? Hope so. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. Okay, never mind. I don't think that's a boy. I think it's a monster. Never mind. Don't think I want to date the monster. The shadow runs down the street in rivulets. Formless dark spreads like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch, a muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I steel myself, then turn. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came. I'm left standing in the middle of the street alone, except for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. Does this man control mine? Oh, dude, not the ears. A fox man. No, this is a no from me as well. Sorry, buddy. A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for a human, were it not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around his ankle, or the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. Our eyes meet and the monster uncrosses his long legs. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood where it curls around his collared throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable little smile. Didn't you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the Wick's drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. You stole my key, you little rude word. Has he got, like, insane boots on? Okay. Still no. That's a no for me, but okay, bonus points for the boots. They're nice. With a flourish of his hand, my in-room key appears dangling from his finger. It turns on its chain, glittering when it catches the light. My hands fly to my cloak's pockets and, sure enough, find them flat. He crooks his finger, beckoning. Oh, no, sir, it's alright. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on the edge, thrumming with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edge of my vision. I always attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. It seems like it. Alright, who said that's my key? Mind you, we made it obvious, we were just patting our pockets. Where did you find it? Own up to it, buddy. How'd you even find it? The key, I mean. What can I say? I'm a sucker for shiny things, I bet you are. He smiles wide enough to reveal pointed canines. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. City like this, somebody might take advantage. A bald-faced lie said without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took the key, and I need it back. I approach the man, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. Yeah, this man's got several tricks up his sleeve. The stranger's chain softly clinks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping your distance? I'd be stupid to trust you. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? I bet you are good with your hands, but stop it. Stop it. Bad. Bad. He's got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. Yeah. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Yeah, no, I'm not about that, Chief. Luckily for you, I don't charge. I'm still not interested. I don't want freebies. Please. No, thank you. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time since I stepped into that shadow, I feel something other than dread. No, we don't feel anything. We feel like, get out of here. That's what we feel. Sorry, we're running back to the doctor. My face grows hot. No, we're running back to the doctor. Oh no, I'm flushed. I think I have a fever. Whatever will I do? I need to run back and get cured. That's not what I meant. I'm flattered, really. Were sex my trade, I might make an exception for you. How about half off for a handy? You nasty. Get out of here, Chief. Or you could just hand over my key. Yes. Give me my key back. I want to go to sleep. Ask nicely, and I might even let you tug my tail. I don't want to tug your... I don't want to do anything. I'm not tugging anything, sir. Stop it. Just throw it here. So some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run. He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveller. What misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen, I wonder? He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger-sharp eyes flick toward me. They gleam with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. By now my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever heard of. Do I turn him down? Actually, he's been... is he winning me over? He might be. Stop it. No, bad. What do I do? Think about the doctor. He is nice. But this guy's sleazy. What do I do? Oh, go on. I'll flirt back. It'll be funny. How do you know that I spent all my money, starved, and nearly died in a swamp just so I could crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I saw? That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? I have been told subtlety's not my strength. So, your place or mine? Damn, no, I was joking. I'd invite you if I had my key. I'll pass. No, I'll do it. If only I had my key, then I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Come, take my hand and we'll go together. Why did I do this? Oh, I'm such a mess. It has to be a trap. Aren't you? It's funny. I'm just telling him I've got into trouble. I'm just trying to make myself feel better. The more he flirts, the more I'm convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. Yeah, this man's got several because he's like a fox man. Always tricksy. And something tells me this one's more dangerous than he lets on. Even if he has a lovely laugh. Which is probably why I'm falling for it, because I'm like, wait, an absolute freak, you say? Sign me up. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me. And I don't know why I'm messing with you back. Because I'm a mess. That's why. But I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard, unless you beg me. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into an innuendo. Yeah, I mean, look at the way he's dressed. He's like a walking innuendo. Visual novel me, please use your eyes. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a travelling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. Their lutist is utterly exquisite, truly a performance to die for. There's life in this dreadful place, if you know where to look. I still don't know your name. I think by this point, with all the others, we knew who they were. Still just talking to a random dude. In the red light district. As you do. You sound like you know the city well. The man's gaze flickers from me to the key dangling from his finger. Naturally, this dump was little more than a miserable little smear when I first arrived. High town, low town, I know Iridia like the back of my hand. What about the cenobium? Do you know where that is? His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it. That absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. He must mean that spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Iridia. The cenobium's overrated. Forget all about it. I can show you things those stuffy boars in their limp dick tower couldn't even dream of. What are you going? I don't know if I want to know. I'm curious, but I don't want to know. I've already got plans. Oh, have you some pressing matters at the cenobium? Lunch dates with librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What's it matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss? The stranger, finally bored of his tedious game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for the key. But as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Hey! Oh, getting a bit too close. Personal space, Chief. He yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them even as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of death and the road. And that fucking doctor. Oh, do you have a rival with him? Oh, I'm intrigued. What happened? I like the doctor, though. His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. Okay, we've got some spicy drama. Yeah, I'm into this. I need a spicy love triangle. We've got a... And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Let go. I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite, he takes a deep whiff instead. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes up at me. Okay, back away, Chief. Not quite human, not quite monster. Seems we're both... very... The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging it where his grip left grooves in the bandages. The stranger twists around to watch a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. Her pressed uniform marks her chest. Her pressed uniform marks her as a cleric of the Cenobium. I leave you for all of 10 minutes, and you're making trouble again. Will you quit harassing the Taurus? The stranger, Vere, I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. Oh, is he the familiar then of this person then? Okay, maybe. So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me and his tail swishes minutely. The woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Vere cuts in. I was graciously offering my dear friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger's drawn to you like a moth to flame. It will always find you given time. The woman clucks her tongue as though she's heard this recital 102 times. Word of advice? Don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off a withering look from Vere. Oh, please. Any friend of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Vere rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly, it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the harness attached to his collar, but a leash. Yeah, this man's into some stuff, isn't he? I'm gonna pass. I said as I was propositioning this man earlier, but never mind. I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm indecisive. A heavy iron chain wound from a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. Vere posed deliberately to hide his leash from me. He looks kind of sad though. Are they abusing him? Maybe that's it. I don't know. Stop feeling bad. We've got other people to meet. Come on. The list is growing. The woman produces a keyring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and slotting it into the lock. Come on. Unless your friend's tagging along for our merry little soulless hunt. No, it's alright. They're hunting for soulless inside the city? Words momentarily fail me. The woman regards me with a polite, if tight, smile before marching down the stairs. Vere lingers. He stretches his arms over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Yeah, stop being thirsty, visual novel me. We've got to move on. Your little secret's safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed, Vere hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily, as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try that thing I mentioned, the Leventian knot? The one where you take 3 fingers and... Actually, don't tell me. Knowing you, it's disgusting. Probably. This man... Never mind. I don't want to know. Vere's airy laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight that I realise I'm still missing something. Did he take my purse? Wait! Reflexively, I shove my hands into my pockets and find it. The room key. I pull it out of my pocket and raise it to the light just to be sure. A nagging feeling distracts from my relief. I don't know what Vere's game was or what he wanted from me. All I know for certain is that the Cenobium saw fit to leash him, a fate I could share, if that's what his vague warning meant. Yeah, I don't want any part in that. I feel kind of bad for him, maybe. I don't know, he seems cheeky, but he's probably getting mistreated by those people. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns, gently swaying in the breeze to the Cenobium faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need. Then I can put this all behind me. This time, the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. Very wise.